guys, Miss George here today to give you a little review tutorial on how to divide. I know that we've struggled with this a little bit throughout the year, so a video to reference this week will definitely be useful. Okay, so let's start just looking at division, not decimal division yet. Let's start with number 1 on this week's assignment. Number 1 says 942 divided by 4. So what this means is how many 4s can I have in a group of 942? Okay, so how many times can 4 go into 942? Okay, so I want us to start using long division, as that's what you'll use across the street at Drew Middle School. Okay, so remember with long division, I'm going to go one number at a time, starting from left to right. Okay, so I'm going to start by saying, how many times can I skip count by 4 before I go over 9? So I know I go 4, 8, 12. 12 goes over, so 4 will go into 9 2 times. Then I go 2 times 4 is 8. And I do my next step, which is subtract. 9 minus 8 is 1. Okay, so I'm done with that step. So now I'm going to move over to the next number and bring it down. And I start my process all over again. How many times will 4 go into 14? Or how many times can I skip count by 4 before I go over? So 4, 8, 12, 16. Oh, that goes over. So 4, 8, 12. I can multiply 4 by 3 without going over. I get 12. And I'm going to subtract. 14 minus 12 is 2. Notice how I'm nice and lined up. Okay, so I know that I need to go over to my next number. Okay, how many times, bring down my 2. And ask yourself, what times 4 gets me close to 22 without going over? Okay, so how many times can I skip count by 4 before I go over? So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24 goes over. So I want to do 5. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract, I'm left with 2. Okay, when I go to move over my next number, I notice there's nothing there. Okay, so when I am done, remember in 4th grade, y'all wrote remainders like this. Remainder 2, remember in 5th grade and on, you will want to start writing it in a decimal form. A fractional form, and then move into decimal forms. So fractional form, you have 2 left over out of how many were you trying to get? 4. Okay, so we know that our answer is going to be 235 and 2/4. We know that 2/4 can go down to 235 and 1/2 would be my answer. Okay, now showing you that, I also want to show you what you could do if you wanted to write it in decimal form. Okay, let me clean this up a little bit. All right, so I'm done with my problem. Now, if I put a decimal here and a 0, I've not changed the value at all. But now I have something I can bring down. Okay, so if you want to do this way, this is finding your answer in decimal form. You move the decimal up. Now I can say, what times 4 gives me 20? 5. So my answer, 235 and 5/10. For this week on your assignment, you can either do decimal form, or you can do the fractional form as well, okay? Or really, this would be 1/2. Teach you how to divide using a 2-digit divisor, so a bigger number. So let's look at number 6 on our worksheet. We have 1,260 divided by 15. Okay, so how many groups of 15 can I have with 1,260? With this same exact process, you're just using a bigger number. Okay, so we might not know our 15 facts, and that's okay because I have strategies to find out what 15 times the number is. Okay, so let's start just like we did earlier with we're going one number at a time. Okay, so cover up everything except for the one number that you're looking at. So how many times will 15 go into 1? So in other words, how many times can I skip count by 15 before I go over? So 15 Oh, I've already gone over, so I can't even use 1. So this is 0. Okay. Now I can scoot over to my next number. How many times, and ask yourself, how many times can I skip count by 15 to get 12? 15 before going over. 15, oh, that goes over too. Okay, so 0. And if you want to go through the whole process, 0 times 15, you notice that that is 0. When I subtract, I'm left with 12. Okay, so you realize why I don't necessarily have to go through and solve it out like I do when I have a number. Okay, so next, I'm going to go over how many times can 15 go into 126 before going over. Okay, so we have, so we can do this several different ways. Okay, we can go through and write our multiples. So 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, 105, 120, 135. Okay, notice that 135 goes over. Okay, so let's see how many times we were able to skip count before we went over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and always check yourself. 15 times 8 is, that's 40. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so I am correct there. Okay, so 8 times 15 equals 120. Okay. If you didn't want to write out your multiples, you could have also gone through and kind of, gone step by step to see what would have worked. 75, I need to go higher. Maybe I'll do 15 times 7. Oh, need to go higher. Okay, so you can do trial and error like that if you need to. Or you can just do the multiples of 15. All right, so when I subtract, I'm left with 6. Okay, scoot over. Bring down your 0. How many times can 15 go into 60? The good thing about writing your multiples with a larger number is you kind of have a reference guide, so you don't have to do it over and over again each time. Because now I can just look and say, oh, there's 60 right there. How many times did I have to skip count? 4. Check myself. Does 15 times 4 equal 60? It does. Okay, so 4 times 15 is 60. I'm left with 0. When I go to scoot over, I have nothing else. So I know that I'm done, okay? And instead of having to write it 0084, we know that this number is just, and our answer is 84. Okay? So I hope that helps you with dividing when you have a larger divisor.